Okay, so welcome to the second video in our series. So in this video, we're going to actually start working on the component and import that component in our demo application. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna need to do here is I'm gonna come here and rename this app.vue. I'm gonna rename this as, my actual component that I'm trying to export, but I'm going to create a new folder for this. So components, and I'm going to create a file. Let's call this coolstars.vue. And I'm going to delete this app.vue. We're not going to need it. And within main.js file, so you can see here that we are saying create app, and then we are mounting that to the DOM. But this is basically a package, so it is not supposed to be mounted to anything. It was supposed to be imported from the application that's going to use it, for example, from our demo app. So I'm going to get rid of all of this, this line, and this line as well. All we do is just import TailwindCSS, that's it. And then I'm going to import the coolstars component from the coolstars.vue file. And I'm going to export that, an object which contains that component. So I'm going to export it. Let's coolstars :coolstars. Or we can, of course, omit this one since it is already being defined there. The name and the key are the same, so we can omit the value. It's the same thing. Okay, there's also something else that we can do. We can export default, and we can export, a method called install, which takes the app and a bunch of options, and that basically allows us to define a component on the fly that is called coolstars. And of course, we give the coolstars component. So this is in case we wanted to include our component as a public plugin. But if we wanted to import only that particular component, we can always, of course, import the coolstars directly wherever we want to use it, right? So this is, we can either use this or this. This is actually, to give our users options. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, let's actually write something in this component. So template, for now, only one div with a hello world from the component. Great. Okay, this is great. Now, how can we actually build this package? So we need a way to build this package. We're going to write a script how to build the package, but for now we can actually test it locally without having to build it directly. And let's see how we can do that. So inside of my demo app, I'm going to go to the app.vue and let's create a script section here, and let's import that component. So import from back1 directory, and source, and basically components, or maybe main, because remember, we're exporting in the main file this coolstars, so we can import it. Coolstars. Now let's export default components so that we can use that coolstars in our demo. So here I'm going to use the cool stars component, and we should be fine. Now let's get back to our application. Let's refresh. Cannot read property config of undefined. Okay, so this is because we are trying to use the component without building it, right, from a different project. So there's a way like to build it and to use it with the npm link, etc. But there seemed to be a bug there. That's why we're following this method. So in order to overcome this issue for now, all you need to do is to simply copy the post CSS file from the component into the demo folder, and also the Tailwind config file into the demo folder as well. Now let's try again. Build the application and the error should go away. Perfect. Now, as you can see, it says hello world from the component, which means this is actually rendering it from the actual component. Okay, now let's develop our component a little bit. So I'm gonna come back here to the cool stars component, and I'm gonna create a bunch of stars. So let's go online and look for some SVGs. So I'll visit hero icons, search for star, and I'm gonna copy this one. Let's display it here, and let's see how it looks like. Still it's not working because the styles need to be built. Makes sense. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop at this point and actually build our package so that we can take advantage of the styles. So basically I'm gonna visit this file vite.config.js and I'm gonna change its content. Okay, so this is the file that's responsible for building our own package. Right now, it's not aware that it should be building a package. It is thinking that it should build an actual normal application. So we're gonna change it. So we're gonna import something from path. And that is going to be resolve. And we'll also need the directory name. And inside of define config, we're gonna leave this to view. Let's define the build process. So this is going to be a library, so I'm going to add lib. And let's give it a few parameters. So the first one is the entry point of the library. And that's going to be the directory, your name, the current directory basically. And yeah, the file is going to be source/main.js. Yeah, let's go. It is called main.js, as you can see. So we're going to take this file and try to build it. The name of our package will be, we called it cool stars. So I'm going to call it cool stars. So this is the name that we're going to use when we import our package, you know. And the file name will be called basically, yeah. Basically, let's call it whatever, you know, the format.js. Because remember, like, we're trying to export different types of output. So some that can be included directly in a normal web application in the browser directly, you know, we'll call it comment.js. And another one is when we use the import syntax within a Node.js application. Okay, so basically we have the format variable.js. So for every format, we produce a file that is format.js. Okay, so we also need to define rollup options. This is very important because we are building a package, not an actual application. So we need to define, for example, view as external dependency. In other words, Vue will not be included in the package itself. We're assuming that this package will be installed in an application that has Vue already installed, and so that this package now uses the Vue instance of the project that it is installing it. Okay, and the output is an object. Let's define the Vue, the global variable Vue as the Vue. Perfect. So this is everything we need to build our package. So let's build it so that we can actually start using the styles. Okay, so I'm gonna type npm run build. Perfect. Now, as you can see, we have a new dist folder that contains the ECMAScript file and the normal JS file already built, and we also have the style. You can see that the styles were built, which includes all the Tailwind CSS styles that our package is actually using. So I'm gonna get back to our application here and change this to the dist folder. Okay, as you can see, our stars appears there, but now we need to display multiple stars. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to change here, let's change the style to be on the individual SVGs themselves, and let's create a button. Let's surround the SVG with that button, and maybe let's take that class, put it in the button, and change those to width fall, height fall. And nothing changes, but now we can have multiple buttons, and they're going to display side by side. And so this needs to be in a v4. So let's create a new script. And we're going to send in properties. So the first property is the max stars, which has a type of a number and a default value of 5. And also we're going to add a stars variable, which determines how many stars are currently selected. Like if the user selected 3 stars, then this should have 3. So the type is also a number. And the default, let's say it's 3. And then we're going to iterate through those. So star in max stars. The key is the star variable. And this should right now display 5 stars. Now you can see that all stars are empty. So we need to conditionally check whether the stars variable is bigger than the index star to know whether to actually fill the stars or not fill them. So filling them is simply just changing this fill parameter to current color. So you can see right now, let's refresh, all of them are now filled. So clearly this needs to be dynamically generated. So we're going to check if the stars star is less than the stars variable. Then in that case, we need them to be filled. So with the current color, otherwise none. Let's test this to make sure that it actually works. Okay, so maybe less than or equals to. Perfect. Now we have 3 stars. If we change this to 0, then we have 0 stars. If we change this to 5, then we have 5 stars. So our logic is working perfectly. But what if we want, for example, to change, which star is actually, how many stars are being clicked, right? For example, when I click on the second star, I want all the other stars on the right-hand side to be gone, to be unfilled or to be unselected. So to do this, I'm going to get back to the application and add a vModel to a new variable. Let's call this stars, for example. And initially it's 3. And back to our cool stars. Well, we have like a property called model value, right? So that model value represents the stars variable that we sent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these max stars into computed properties instead so that we can update them directly from the model value. So I'm going to add computed. So max stars, I'm going to leave this as a property, but for stars is going to be the computed property. Okay, so I'm going to change this. I'm going to move this one here. So stars basically has a get method and a set method. Yeah. Okay. And it's an object, basically. Oh, not there. This is an object. Yeah. So stars is a computed property that has a getter and a setter. So the getter will simply return the model value. So this dot model value. Now let's change this type to number and the default to 3. And the setter is simply emitting an event saying that the model value has been updated with the given value. And now, whenever the user clicks on a button, all we need to do is to simply update the stars computed property. So we're going to say stars takes the star that we're currently at. And let's get rid of this variable because now it is a computed property. Here we have a small error. We need to return this, and now our component works very well. Now to test that this actually works, I'm going to display the stars in my main application here. And you can see now it is updating correctly. Now, perfect. Now we've created a star component. We can, of course, style it more. For example, if the user wants to send a color for the star, for the stars, basically, we can add more properties, etc. But for now, this component is enough for the sake of the example. So this next video, we're going to learn how we can actually, how we're going to package this. Even though like we saw the packaging script here, but yeah, we're going to continue the next video. See you then.